Hello, good evening and welcome. How are we all? Hope we're all well. Doing my normal check. Still don't trust Facebook. I don't think I'll ever trust Facebook. There we go. Right, we're there. Right. Couple of things. I did speak about these at lunchtime today, but just in case you didn't catch that, my new or latest mini album tutorial is now available in my shop, my online shop, on my website, lisasloft.co.uk. And if you go up to shop and mini albums, that's on there. It's PDF tutorial for you to download, and there is a link on there to pop over to YouTube for a video of a walkthrough. So yeah, that's on there now. Also, something I mentioned earlier is the fact that on the 1st of October till the 31st, we've got the most fantastic joining offer. I am shouting about it. I think it's amazing. Join Stampin Up, join our family. Whereas normally you pay £99 for £130 worth of product, we've got two specials. One is you pay £35 for £130 worth of product. So that's £95 of product free. £95 of product free. Or you can still pay the £99 and get £194 worth of product free. No, worth of product. That's £95 worth of product free. You pay for the. So yeah, that's coming the 1st. So that's all I'm going to say about that now, because we're here to craft. But I will be putting out some more things about that. Right, scrapbook. And we're going to be using the Mixed Media Florals Suite that I've been sharing this week. Now, let me turn the camera. And this is what paper I have left. I've got some little bits of this. Little bits of this. These are two-sided, but these are the pieces I've pulled out to perhaps use tonight. And we've got some black and white pieces left. Got a couple of circles from projects before. And then I've got these few oddments in here. Not a lot at all. So I'm trying to think, what can we do? But I've pulled out some of my two-tone cardstock to add to this, and I've pulled out Calypso Coral, Poppy Parade, Daffodil Delight, Basic Black. That's it. And I thought, right, we'll go from there. So I am going to start with a white base, I think. In fact, no, I'm not. Because I'm going to use this, I'm going to cut it to fit this to a page. So I think we're going to go Daffodil Delight for a change and bring out that yellow. And I can use it light or dark. I think I'm going to go with the light side. And what I'm going to do is fussy cut around this so that we're just using the edge. So I'm going to grab my scissors and we're going to do some cutting. I'm just going to quickly, well, I say quickly, seems quickly to me, it might not be quickly to you. Just go around the edge of our design, just roughly leaving a bit of a border on it, not being too thick, just trying to keep it neat though. But obviously some places it's going to be wider than others, because I am just doing it pretty quick if it didn't get hooked up on my ring and everything else. Neaten that. So how are we all this evening? Hope you've had a lovely day. It's been a gorgeous day here today. I've had a very productive, well, I had a very productive morning. I was up at 7. It was Hayden's first proper day at uni today. So I was up at 7 to get him up, and he went. So then I jumped in the shower. I'd put a load of washing in, and the sun came out. So I popped that out on the washing line. I thought, it's warm out here. So I popped another load in. And again, some of the other was dry. It's like, this is quite good. So I ended up stripping my bed and getting that done. So I washed and dried 3 loads of washing on the line today. I mean, it hasn't been that warm, but in the sun, and because there's been a breeze, it's been nice. So yeah, and then I got some bits done that I needed to this morning. Around the house, did a little bit of a training that I'm doing at the moment, and then I did my live. But then after my live, I sort of hit a low, and I felt not unwell, but just absolutely shattered. I'd had breakfast in the morning, and I thought, maybe I need to eat. So I did myself a quick sandwich, sat with a cuppa on the settee. I was watching a bit of telly. Dell came home, and I was still not feeling great. So I was like, right, if I nod off, wake me up at 5:30 so that I can get the tea going. But after about half an hour, I started to feel okay again. I think I need to make sure that I eat before my live rather than after. We're getting up so early. But yeah, I've been all right since. I've got some bits done that I needed to get done, ready. It's been a nice day, I have to say. I'm going to chop that off down there. There we go. Alright, so we're going to have that. I mean, there's hardly anything worth keeping on there, really. On here. So we've got a lovely border. I mean, just that on a page is lovely, isn't it? Well, I'm definitely going with that, so I am going to glue that down. But yeah, I enjoyed my live earlier. We created 2 cards. One was a fun fold. That was one I did as a mystery stamping at our latest team meeting. And then I did something totally different. Went a total different colourway from the suite, and went all pinks. And did an embossed background and then blended on with ink so that the background, the emboss stood out. I said I've been doing a lot of backgrounds lately. I'm enjoying having a play, seeing different techniques, how things work, you know, how things will react. So one of my favourite is stamping blends and alcohol on a block. I'm going to put my other light on. I forgot we've got this light, and that'll perhaps make it a bit brighter for you. I forget because I don't put it on to begin with on my main camera. causes a bit of shadow, and then I forget to put it on. Right, so we've got that, which I absolutely adore. And on here I'm going to have a 6x4 photo. So let me just grab some basic white and cut a 6x4, because that would be my photo size. There we go. So I've got a 6x4 or 4x6, whichever way you think it might have. And then I'm going to back this with I'm kind of thinking a black, or how about the green? It's not big enough anyway. So, but I'm thinking if I go black behind it, or we could go, I want something that's going to make it pop. Poppy Parade, you know, it's in the name. And that'll bring out the little ladybirds. This paper, don't know if you can see it, it's got really cute little ladybirds on it. So yeah, I'm going to go Poppy Parade for that. So I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock. Now I do just use my normal cardstock for my mats, because I have more of it than the two-tone. I'm limited on my two-tones still. So I'm going to do this 6 1/8 by 4 1/8. So it's just that little bit bigger to give it a little border. I do work in inches when I'm scrapbooking and when I'm making mini albums and such. I just find it easier. But I do card making in. I don't want to fix that for good, do I? I should have used a photo placement actually, but never mind. Right, I'm just going to take some of the sticky off that glue dot, and then that will allow me to stick that on there for now. But then when I've got my photo, I can remove it and just twist it and it'll come off. Right. And I'm thinking, I had my photo up there, and then we can put a do I just want one photo? Let's cut a 6x4, 3x4, just in case. That I'll cut 2, because one could be for our journaling. And then we can decide what we want and what we don't want. I haven't got anything in my head tonight, but I kind of like that, and that can go over there, so that could be my journaling, and then another photo there, and we can then decorate. Right, so I do want both of these, so I'm going to do these in Poppy Parade also. See if I've got some little scraps. I have some scraps that are big enough. Not sure if that one. It might be. If not, I've got another couple. pieces in here. There we go. Right. So again, I just like to do those. That's 4 and an 8. Oh, no. So it was hardly worth worrying about, to be fair. By 3 and an 8. I've got to remember I do need to change my blade, my trimmer. 3 and an 8 by 4 and an 8. There we go. So yeah, this starter kit offer we've got is absolutely superb. I'm just going to do this one with a glue dot. I mean, it's not very often that you get given £95 worth of products of your choice. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, I don't want to be a demonstrator. I'm not. You don't have to. You could carry on as a demonstrator, hobby demonstrator, where, yes, you've got quarterly minimums to reach. But if you don't want to do, you get 20% discount off all future purchases. So, you know, if you are building up your Stampin' Up craft stash, that's a way of doing it. But if you don't want to do that, just grab the kit, get the free products, it's yours to keep, and never do anything again. That's fine. Be a kidnapper, you know. Is that best practice for my business, me telling you this? No, it's not. Is it best practice for you as a customer? Does it let you get more for your money? Yeah, and that's what I'm here for, to let you get the most for your money. Yeah, I'd love you to join and to become part of the team and stay and be a demo with the rest of us, but I know it's not for everybody. A lot of people haven't got the time to do it. They're not interested in that, and that's fine. But, you know, grab yourself some freebies. I know if I wasn't already a demo, I would be doing it. I mean, for that, it's fabulous. But yeah, I'll be releasing more about it in the coming days. Right, so I'm just going to stamp on here, and I've just got the lines out of the just a note, just so that I've got it for my journaling. And I'm going to go a bit more towards the bottom than the top and central. There we go, because a part of the top will be covered, and that means I can also pop a little header on there if I want to. And I'm going to put best ever. Best ever what? Not quite sure of yet, but it's the best ever. And I think I'm going to do that in. Do you know, I'm thinking there's a few greens in here. No, I'll keep it with the black. Yeah, and then if I do some stamping on it, I can do that in colour. I'm going to do that over to the left because I know I'm going to cover the right. There we go. Lovely. I love that. How gorgeous is that font? It's beautiful. Right, now I am going to glue that down onto here because that's going to stay. I need your help. I'm going to ask for your help. I craft what I want to craft on these sessions, unless there's somebody throwing challenges and things at me, I just do what I want to do. But I was wondering, is there anything that you would like me to do? Anything you'd like to see? Maybe you've got a favourite technique, or you've heard of a technique and you're not quite sure how to do it and you'd like me to show you. If that's something you fancy, let me know. Right, that's my layout for those. But I want to add some embellishment and stamping and that round it, I think, before I commit to sticking those. Maybe I might stamp some actually. The green on here would be quite nice stamped on there. The little, you can't see, can you? The foliage one here is what I'm using. That'd be quite nice with some of that on there. And I think I'm going to stamp it rather than stamping and die cutting. And I'm going to do it in garden green, I think. That's where I'm thinking. I am going to trial it out because I know my garden green is very dark. So I'm just going to have it on a piece of scrap. You know, I like that. So that is going to go under there. Where is my stamping? Because I'm using photopolymer. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat. So it helps with some cushioning while I'm stamping. Alright, so I want it coming out from about there. So I've got it where, more or less where I want it. I'm going to move those out the way. And then I'm just going to turn it slightly. So we've got 3 of those just stamped. Oh, look. Never mind. That won't hurt because that isn't going to be on here. I didn't move it far enough, did I? See? I like that coming out of there. Dear, dear. Right. I've got that blob on there. Okay. And then I think we need... That looks just funny on its own. So I think we'll add some more down here. Just coming off there. Around there. And because I'm doing it the way I am, it's okay that that's got a halo. That's fine because I've done it multiples anyway. Right, so that's all the actual stamping I want to do on here. So I am going to glue these down. And for now, I'm just going to glue the middles as normal so that I can tuck things behind. Just lining that up straight with my edges. And this one, one's up there, liking that. I like things to overlap sometimes. I think it just adds a bit more interest rather than just things that are placed and stuck about. So we'll have that one an equal distance around there, which is something like that. There we go. Right, I'm happy with that so far. And then what I want to do in here, we have this gorgeous little stamp, which I am going to stamp and die cut. Let's move that to the side. Let's bring in my stamping mat, and I need some basic white for stamping. I've got that much on my desk because I put all this paper out because I'm not knowing what I was going to use. Right, and I think I'm going to stamp these in Memento and colour them. I think that'll be nice. So I'm just going to have a couple of those. Let's see how we get on with just the two. Right, and I think we'll colour those in I think we're going to go Calypso Coral, so it stands out against the background. I would do Poppy Parade, but is it going to be a bit, no, I think we will. We'll go Poppy Parade, so it's nice and bright. I'm in a bit of a Poppy Parade mood. I've been using a lot of Poppy Parade with this, actually. Again, I'm not being particular on my colouring. I'm just putting some shade down, so I've just put a little bit in each, and then I shall just go over it with, that's the dark Poppy Parade, over it with the light, just to blend it out a bit. And it's in a different place on most of them. Some of them, there will be some bits of white left, and that's fine. I'm not trying to exactly get it to look like flowers, just the impression that they're multitonal rather than just a flat, and that they've got some dimension to them. There we go, so that's that one. And then we'll do this one. I'll bring it down a bit, so then you'll be able to see a bit better maybe. There we go. And then you can just see how I just put, where there's one overlapping the other, I do tend to put the darker where it's overlapping. But other than that, there's no rhyme or reason to why I put it where I do. At least this pen's not squeaking quite as much as it was earlier. No, it wasn't this one, was it? It was my strawberry slush. My gosh, was that squeaking. I think because it was a brand new pen. There we go. Last couple. Fabulous. Love that. It's a beautiful little flower. Right, we'll just pop you back up. There we go. Okay. Right, we'll die cut these out using my favourite little mini machine. It should be in here. This suite's got 2 stamp and die sets bundles. The one that's this one, which has got all floral images and ladybirds, and it's got the dies to cut out foliage and all the stamped images. And then the other one is mixed labels, and that's lots of sentiments. Has it got one? It's got a couple of images. It's got this nice flower here, and then the banner. It's got lots of sentiments, and then the dies are labels, and there is a die that's for doing texture actually in that. But the mixed labels is currently in the last chance, as is the paint, the embossing folder that goes with this suite, which is the plaster painting 3D. It's a gorgeous embossing folder. I love it. I used it today on one of my cards. But that, yeah, also is in the last chance, unfortunately. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to share this suite this week, before it's sold out, or you're unable to get all the components. I mean, the rest is staying, it's carrying over, which is good. Okay, that's nice on there. And then we can add some other little bits about as well. I think I want some other greenery, and the perfect die in here in the mixed florals is this one that cuts lots of foliage grasses, and so it's got some variation to it. I'm going to cut it from some of the paper rather than cardstock. So yeah, I wanted to share it before it was gone, and also because I haven't got much paper left. It's like, right, can we use all this? Because it's just bits. If I didn't use it, it would end up going in the bin. I don't save little bits. I've got way too much stuff. I'm trying to declutter. I'm just going to run that through again. I'm sure it's cut, but I just want to make doubly sure. There we go. Let's have a look at that. Put that in the bin. Right, let's grab my pokey tools. Let's just get this out of here. Now, normally, if it was cardstock, I'd just push it in and then pull it out. But because it's paper and it's a lot more delicate, I am actually going to poke everywhere so it loosens it as much as possible, because I don't want it to rip. I mean, I am going to be cutting it up and ripping it up, but it's different me doing it purposely than it happening by accident. Right, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Lovely large grassy sprig. Right, I want some of that behind. Now I'm looking for where there's a natural piece for it to split off, and I'm kind of thinking, see, would it want the two? Yeah, maybe. Let me do this down here between those two. Now, obviously, this is going to be way too long for what I want, but we can keep trimming until it's where we want. All right, and I want to trim that off there, because I don't want all that. See, I love that, how that comes over. So we could have something more like that. And then I think I want something out that side too. I might add that. Yeah, like that. Right, so let me chippy chop that. And this is why it's good if you don't stick things down all together. Properly. And we can chop that bit off there because we don't want that on there. And chop that off there because we can see that. Don't want that. Okay. Maybe that. I'm losing that one no matter where I put it with. Oh, that's quite nice there. Right, so I'm going to leave the greenery where I've got it. I'm going to add my adhesive. Just want that coming down there a bit more on here. And then I can tuck that in here under there. And that will then, because that's over there and because it's over there, that'll hold it all in place. There we go. Nice. Okay, that's bugging me. Let me get rid of that. Everything else is very nice and clean, and then that's really annoying. Alright, then we've got this little one, which I'm kind of thinking, chop that and that. Just that little bit. Let's get that right, because I don't want that to end up being chopped off. If I put that there, that'll hide the end. There we go. Right. So I am going to put a bit of glue on this because it keeps wanting to move. But I don't want it to. I would need it to stay where it's put. Right. So, like that. I don't mind that overhanging a little bit because it's going to be in a protective wallet. So that's fine. And then we'll add that in there like that. So actually most of what I've stamped is covered, but that's fine. It's just building it up. Do I want any more in there? Let me snip that there. Snip that there. Sure. I want some more. Just there. Yeah. Like that being there. And add a tiny bit of glue on there. Push that down. Oh, get under. And then this one that we've cut earlier maybe can go. I want that one smaller. Brilliant. And sometimes it's just a matter of playing and sticking things in, taking them out, doing so much, thinking, yeah, going to another bit, and then realising actually that could do with a little bit more there. Right. So let's get rid of all this rubbish so we can see where we're at. Let's just pop that on for a second. We'll grab a photo placement. Right, so we've got that. I'm liking that, but I'm thinking it needs just a little bit of something. So I've got these black and white circles, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe we could do with some circles around about that are just popping out here and there. And if I grab some more little circles, I've got some punches. Oh, excuse me. So what punch? Let's have a go at this one. Oh, that's 1 3/4 inch. Which I think the bigger one is probably better down here. Smaller. I'm quite liking the circles on there as well. Now I have got a couple of retired punches. Oops, I'm dropping everything. It's the 1 1/2 and the 3/8. And let's just see what other black and white we've got. I've got somewhere a flowered one. There we go. Let's have just a little one of those. I mean, the flowers we could colour if we wanted to, but I don't think we need to. That just brings in just a little bit more on the black and white theme. Do a couple of these little tiny ones about. These are tiny. So we can use these more or less as an embellishment. Let's have a couple of little white ones. I wonder if we could get a little flower. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oops, there you go. We've got a little flower in that one. And a little bit of a flower in that one. I'll have another one of those. They're cute. Okay, right. So let's add some of these. I've got bits everywhere, so I want one of those there, I think. And we'll have one down here. Another black one down there. A white one over here. Not liking that. And a white one. And a black one. Coming from under that one, I think. Yeah. There we go. Quite like that. Just a little bit different. So let's just stick some of these on. And then we can add some real embellishments if we wanted to. We don't have to. We could just leave these as our embellishments. But I kind of think it'd be nice just to have a little bit of bling on there. You may have noticed that I do put the adhesive onto the back of the larger ones, but onto my page when I'm doing the smaller ones, so that I can get it where I want it. I'm just tucking things behind. Grab this last one. Gosh. There we go. Brilliant. Right. I'll get rid of all that out of the way. And get rid of those. Yeah, I really like that. Right. So this actually comes this week with low profile dots. And there's like a soft gold and petal pink, but I'm not thinking they're right for this, so I'm going to choose something else. Now I know I haven't got a title on here, but I'm okay with that. Not every page has to have a title. With it having best ever, I can then talk about a day we've had out or something I've brought. You know, it could be absolutely anything. Best ever. That is a title in itself, really. Right, I've got some little gold bees, tiny bee trinkets, and I think they'd look quite nice. Or the other thing I was thinking was just good old-fashioned rhinestones. And I think I'm going to go good old-fashioned rhinestones. I've got some poppy. I don't think I want to use any more Poppy Parade. Yeah, let's go with just some basic rhinestone gems. Always a winner. And because it's a scrapbook page, we can add some of the larger ones that sometimes can look a bit too much on a card, I think. Whereas on here, for one more. Now I want to keep them around the, because that's smaller, I only want two. I'll just keep them around there. There we go. I've got some nice rhinestones on there. Just to have a little bit of bling. We all like a little bit of bling. I mean, we could, if we wanted to, which I might actually do, is bring out a little Winker Stella. Find the right one. That one. I'm just going to add, oh my life, that's really come out of there fast. Tiny bit, no, that's not working at all. Give me my cloth. Just, if you're quick enough, you can remove the majority of it. But for some reason, that's come out very heavy on the glitter. So I'm going to get rid of it on here. It's not quite so much. And then the little ladybirds. Just put a tiny bit of glitter just on the red bodies. I don't want too much at all. I don't know if you'll see it. Possibly not. It shines ever so, you can, ever so slightly. Just gives it a little bit Hi, Hayden. Right, and that is our page. Obviously, these all get swapped out for our photos, and we'll have our writing. I will add some bits of glue onto these bits that are lifting, just because it's bugging me. I mean, obviously, it's going to be in a page protector, so that's not going to happen once it's in its protector. But there you go. Considering I didn't have a lot of paper, I think we've done okay there. I liked it before I'd put the circles on, but then I think the circles just add that little bit of something extra. It's a bit different. So yeah, really pleased with that. Right, let's switch cameras. There we go. You can see what I mean about a bright light when I put that on before, and then I end up forgetting it. So yeah, like that. That'll go with my collection. I've got quite a collection now of ready-made scrapbook pages. Right, I'm going to pop off. I've still got some tea left, so I shall drink that if it's not cold. And I will see you all next week. Don't forget to keep an eye out for information on promotions and that are going on. If you want to be kept up to date, you can sign up for my newsletter, which is, let's get rid of that one and add here. Nope, that's not the one. That one. If you want to go over to my website at lisasloft.co.uk/newsletter, you can sign up. I do a monthly newsletter, just with inspiration, everything that's been happening, and upcoming offers and promotions. So yeah, right. Have a good weekend, everybody, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.